Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to Royal Sussex Live. Welcome, one and all. Great day in the morning, huh? Audrey Teschner, thank you for being here first. Thank you very much. Church Nellie is here. Yes, it is Verta Sanchez's birthday, I heard. Very good. Happy birthday, Verta Sanchez. Is she here? Let's see. Lydia Washington is here. Ingrid Soares. Connie Balmer. Hey, Connie Balmer. Okay, as I search for my lip balm, I have got to do something about this lip. It's that one spot all the time. Okay, Berta Sanchez, happy birthday wherever you are. Hello, Sonia Johnson, Dorothy Ross. Excuse me. Helen Marmon. Okay, so I'm going to go all the way down to the end. Novi D, you're the last one to pop in here. Thank you very much for being here. Hello, Judy, Fancy, Rochelle Baldreau. Elaine Parker. Who's got 11 months? Who is that? Miss D. Bernard, thank you so much for having 11 months of membership on Royal Sussex. Okay. All right, we're good. So there you go. It's not looking good for the royals, for Charles and Camilla, and well, those other two, they always look kind of haphazard. And of course, Harry is going solo to the event. Let me go on to the next slide here. Let me see here. Okay. Oh, you know what? I may as well get it ready because I don't think Verta is here yet, but I may as well get it ready, shouldn't I? Because you know we're going to have to dance that one out, right? Right. So let me get that going here. Nope, that's not it. Here we go. Hello, Ivy here. Bye for now. Bye from Ivy. Bye. Hello, Ivy here. Bye for now. How come I'm not finding that? Oh. Well, interesting. I don't see Ivy. Okay. Give me a second, you guys. Bye for now. Bye from Ivy. Bye. I love the way she says that. Okay. Anyway, happy birthday, Verta Sanchez, wherever you are. I don't think she's here yet. Oh, well, it's hard to get used to me being on this early in the day, but I'm doing my best. I have been up since 7 a.m. and my body is like freaking out. My body is like, what are you doing upright at this hour? Okay. Hey, Ethan's husband, Victoria Fabre. Hello. Thank you. Nancy Herlock. Hello. And thank you for being here. All right. Got it. Wait. Excuse me. Okay. And just getting it ready. There we go. Gonna have it on standby for that time. Okay. Back to here. Okay. Okay, you guys. Very good. I'm all organized now. And that's freaking me out. Okay. Here we go. Let's get on with it, shall we? So, YouGov. Let me get me out the way. YouGov.com. No, it's YouGov, not .com. Yeah, YouGov. Oh, Audrey Teshnev, thank you so much for the super sticker, and thank you so much for being here. Okay, here we go. Most Britons don't care much or at all about the forthcoming coronation of King Charles. A great deal, 9%, um, a fair amount, 24%, not very much, 35%, not at all, 29%. So that is the amount that people give that I'm sorry, I'm not going to be mean. That is how much people are into this. So if you match that a fair amount and a great deal, you only come up with what is that? 33%, 32%? Wait, no. 35%. Yeah. And then the balance of it, the 35 and 29, that's the amount of people who are just not really into it. Most people don't care. And this is very unfortunate. Now, to be fair, they still believe about 53% of people will watch some of it or parts. Well, you know what? We stream nowadays, so it would be virtually impossible not to see some aspect of it. So you're going to see bits and pieces of it. That's how we consume things nowadays. But the idea that a bunch of people are going to sit around um, and watch the coronation like they did in 1953, well, those days are long gone. Let's see here. Oh, Miss VS Speaks. Hello, VS Speaks Royally. Thank you so much for being here. Always an honor. I'm making it rain, 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 rain. You know, I hear that in my sleep. I'm making it rain, rain. You know, I hear that all the time. I promise you. When I'm not thinking about it, I'm just going, and I'm making it rain, rain, rain. So, such is the power of suggestion, right? I'm making it rain. And for those of you guys, if you know, you know. All I have to say, if you go over and if you join VS Speaks Royally, then you already know what I'm talking about with the rain, rain. And trash time, trash time. I forgot, how does trash time go? Anyway, I do know that it's making it rain, rain, rain. Rain on me. There you go. Yeah, you're making it rain, rain, rain. Rain on me. So thank you for planting that deep into my conscious, which is just beneath the surface. Who am I kidding? My conscious is always just beneath the surface. I'm making it sound like I'm talking about somebody else, but it's me we're talking about, and my conscious is not that deep. It is very shallow. So anyway, thank you. Oh, Aquarius, cool. That is cool. Thank you so much for being the newest member of Royal Sussex. And happy Thursday to you. Happy Thursday. Okay. Let me take that away. All right. Very cool. Oh, by the way, you guys, memberships at Royal Sussex is still a bargain at just $4.99. That's right. Just $4.99. Okay, so let's move on. Now, if you take a look here, Britons are divided on how likely they are to watch or take part in celebration surrounding the coronation. All Britons, well, very fairly likely. What a weird term, very fairly likely, 46%. Not very at all likely, 48%. So that's what I said. Oh gosh, I thought it was more than that. Only 46. Oh, there you go. But look at the age breakdown. 18 to 24-year-olds, 59% say not likely at all. And you know what? That number is way too low. That number is way too low. That number should be much higher because, as you know, young people are just not into the royals. Like, for instance, 65 plus years or older, 62% are likely to watch. How could that likely be 62 and not likely 59? I would say immediately just switch those around because everybody knows that the young people are not into that family, especially when you have young people that openly walked around after the queen's, passed away. And what was that they would say? Colonizer and racist institution. And that wasn't just one or the odd young person here or there. That seemed to be just about everybody that they spoke to. What are the chances? And when William was booed in Liverpool, what happened? It was young people. What are the chances? Mostly young people. They sent him out of there crying like a ratty onions. So there you go. The younger folks are just not so into the royals right now, or ever. Probably not in quite some time. Okay, let me see here. Hey, Beverly McCaskill, thank you for being here. Christopher Pothamont, thank you so much for being here. No, Pothmont, right? Got it. All right, so let's move on. And then right here, of course, this was a group of Talk TV people. I'm going to let you hear this sound bite. It is, well, you'll see for yourself. Let me get set up here. Oh man, why is my allergies bothering me? All right, I don't want people to think I'm on that stuff. It's my allergies. It's giving me a bit of post-nasal drip. Oh, Beverly McCaskill says, just signed on and we'll start from the beginning, but we'll be reading comments. We'll be listening as I am doing laundry. That is lovely. I am glad to do laundry with you. As a matter of fact, we are all honored to do laundry with you. That is really cool. You know, that's my favorite thing, is to know that people are taking Royal Sussex along in various parts of their day. Love that. Oh, that could have been awkward. All right. Glad I caught that. All right. So there we go. Here we go. All right. Listen carefully.
Throw a street party. For the Queen's Platinum Jubilee, they, all the towns and the boroughs have to apply to throw a street party, a celebration of 16,000. For the coronation, they put out the same 16,000 applications.
Oh, I see. Okay, right.
So there were 16,000 parties around the country. For the coronation, they put out the same invitation. Who wants to have a party?
We're going to guess here. We're going to have a look.
And how many people are going to have them? 240.
What?
240. And one of the boroughs that said no, not interested, is the local council around Highgrove in the Cotswolds, where Prince Charles lives. There is a lot of apathy about this.
There is a lot of apathy. Having said that, there has always been apathy before the Golden Jubilee, the Silver Jubilee, the Diamond Jubilee, Platinum Jubilee. There was apathy, and everyone was saying it was going to be a damp squib. Those within palace confines panicked every single time, saying there is no public excitement, and then there actually always was. We're slow to get excited.
We did the same with the 2012 Olympics. Do you remember?
Yes.
Everyone was just a bit like meh about it, and then everyone was like, "Oh, it's really good."
Kevin, those numbers speak for themselves, though.
They do, don't they?
Yeah,
I mean, you can't deny that.
It's no way. It's not even half. It's like a percentage.
240.
But have they now missed the boat to get that application in?
I think
So there can't be a flurry of late applicants.
It doesn't show great enthusiasm.
No,
Okay, which of us around this room, which of us is actually excited? I'm going to just say I'm actually not excited?
I'm not excited about it.
I find it really difficult. I'm not.
Where's the glamour? There's no glamour. Is
Charles
there,
and
really?
Camilla. I mean, they're
Yeah,
not very
just don't-
exciting.
I'm excited for the amount of work we're going to get around it. Like for my
Yeah,
own
well, I'm
personal
excited about
benefit.
that.
Yeah,
If you
exactly.
win in this.
But think about all the acts that are performing as well. They could have been acts that were doing it like 20 years ago. So many people, modern acts, turned down the opportunity to
They
perform
did.
there.
People like Adele did. And just coming back to Kevin, your point about the level of scrutiny on the procession. One of the reasons, so the sort of subtext of that is they were worried again about booers
Right.
along. They
Well,
wanted
maybe not
to
enough
keep the
crowds.
procession short so that
They
the
need to
crowds
kettle
would be
people to
bigger.
make it look a
And
bit-
also the fact, they are basically kettling, and they're going down the same route and then back up the same route. So the same people are going to see the royal couple twice.
Oh, not again.
It's going to be really ridiculous, I think.
Thank you so much, Elaine Parker, for the super sticker, and thank you for watching.
For the Queen's
Royal-
Platinum Jubilee, they,
Yeah.
all the
Oh, sorry about that. Thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay. Also, let me see here. And you're making it rain, 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 rain. See, I told you, I hear it constantly. It's in my head. Verda Sanchez, happy birthday to you. As a matter of fact, we was waiting for you so that we could. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy here. Hello, Ivy. Girl, the Duchess of Sussex won. Meet me at the Royal Sussex party. Nelly's gonna be there. All right, Ivy out. You know what? I have not come down from my high yet. As you know, happy birthday, Verda Sanchez, and many happy returns of the day. And you're making it rain. See what I mean? All right, Cher Brown, thank you so much for being here, and thank you for the super sticker. And thank you so much for being here on Verda Sanchez's birthday. Like that segue. I love it. Anastasia Isabella has to say, what is that? Hi, everyone. I was strolling down the internet looking for homes in Holland, but so far I haven't found one that I like and would want. You are going to Holland? Wow, nice, nice. I found the people so nice there. I really, really did. So all the best to you. I hope you find exactly what you're looking for. All right. Scrolling along. Okay, very good. So that is the uncomfortable, unvarnished truth about what is happening with the coronation. Now, got another soundbite for you. I know, another one. I should have spaced these out, but I didn't. So right there, it says the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, that's what it says in the red there, have shared their wish to repay sovereign grant expenditure for the refurbishment of Frogmore Cottage, which will remain their UK family home. Well, thank you to the squatty that posted this today, because I'm not sure I had ever seen it before, but this is the press release statement from the palace that was posted when the Sussexes stepped down on the 18th of January 2020. That's when it was posted, following many months of conversations. Now, you see, that goes right against what, if you remember, that sad little man had actually wrote a story saying that they were stepping down, and then of course after that, oh, they blindsided the Queen. How could they do that to the Queen? Remember that? It says, following many months of conversation and more recent discussions, I am pleased that together we have found a constructive and supportive way forward for my grandson and his family. I wish I would have seen this back then, but I don't. Well, you know what? I didn't have a channel back then, so I wouldn't have been able to do anything. But gosh, I am glad to hear about it now. At least I have this receipt. Harry, Meghan, and Archie will always be much loved members of my family. Now, I do remember that sentence. I recognize the challenges they have experienced as a result of intense scrutiny over the last 2 years and support their wish for a more independent life. I want to thank them for all the dedicated work across the country, the Commonwealth, and beyond. I am particularly proud of how Meghan has so quickly became one of the family. Now, mind you, this is a statement from Her Majesty the Queen. It is my whole family's hope that today's agreement, that is, allow them to start building a happy and peaceful new life. And okay, and then the other statement, of course, is from the Sussexes there. So anyway, yeah. And so that is supposed to be their forever home in the UK. But unfortunately, Charles has been capricious and unpredictable as usual. Why would I say that? Charles is very predictable. You could always expect him to do something shady. First, he's indecisive, and then he's shady. And I don't know if you guys have ever heard James O'Brien with his churlish Charles, but well, anyway, I'll let you hear it for yourself. Churlish Charles. What an interesting choice of wording, churlish Charles. But I like it. Let me do this. Churlish Charles. Okay.
Media. Just imagine that
Charles sorry.
Just imagine that Charles was persona non grata with the right-wing media, and that he had betrayed. This is how you'd write it: Charles betrays his late mother's wishes by depriving Harry of a home in England's green and pleasant land. I'd add that bit as well, a little bit of William Blake there. You can almost hear Hubert Parry tuning up in the background. Cruel Charles, callous Charles. I can't quite get the alliteration. Just sounds a tricky. Cheesy doesn't work. So cruel Charles betrays. Cruel Charles betrays late Queen's wishes by stealing Harry's home. Second line. Harry and Meghan denied place in England's green and pleasant land by jealous parent. You see how it would work? Because the Queen gave them a house and he's taken it away. So betraying the late Queen's wishes. That is how churlish Charles. Thank you. Churlish Charles? Yeah, churlish Charles. It's tricky that, because you're weighing up the alliteration with the stronger adjective. So cruel Charles is much stronger. Churlish Charles. Churlish Charles works pretty well, actually. Churlish Charles steals Harry's house. There it is. Churlish Charles steals Harry's house. Second line, late Queen cruelly betrayed by brutal eviction. That's the story, by the way, if you don't know what I'm talking about. Churlish Charles has stolen Harry's house. The late Queen wanted him to have it. He spent 2.3 million quid tarting it up, and money he repaid actually to the public purse after stepping down from royal duties. And lo and behold, Charles has demonstrated his, according to newspapers, he's demonstrated, let me tell you what the Daily Mail have to say about it, because we could always do with a laugh. Charles evicting Harry and Meghan from Frogmore is the act of a king putting his country first. I love showing you how twisted the media is, because if you're not an anorak like me, you probably don't notice. So that headline could easily be exactly the same story. Churlish Charles steals Harry's house. We've got it. Callous King. Callous King steals Harry's house. That's come from Grant. He's doing a shift as a sub-editor today. Home is better than house. Thank you. We're doing this together. Callous King steals Harry's home. Brutal betrayal of late Queen's wishes. That's it, right? Callous King steals Harry's home. Brutal betrayal of late Queen's wishes. And then you'd have people like Amanda Platel writing articles about how terrible he's trampling upon the grave of his beloved mother. It's so awful. It's just pathetic. It is absolutely, it's the infantilization of a nation. I mean, it's been underway for hundreds of years, but occasionally the absurdity, the hypocrisy, the base corruption of it is so irresistible.
So, again, that was James O'Brien's take on it, right? You got to love James. That was his take on it. And so, thanks to the squatty that posted this, because I kind of feel like I've seen it before, but I don't recall seeing it. Maybe I just heard it from someone or whatever, or maybe I didn't see it in its entirety, but it seems familiar to me. But most importantly is the part where it says that they were going to pay back the money. I mean, that house, albeit a servant's quarters, was a gift to the Sussexes. So, and I know that just like yesterday, there was a lot of disagreement about that decision to go and not go. People are very divided about the Queen, and yet the language in the official royal communication, at least they did put it out there that the Queen was not blindsided, but that they had months of negotiation. But if you guys remember, it was months and months of how could they do this to the Queen? This is the worst thing that has happened in 85 years, and so on and so forth. Pomerose71 says, "Hey squatties, I swear if that coronation crown starts chanting Harry, Harry, that's gonna take me all the way out of here. Team Sussex, happy birthday, Verda!" Yes, and thank you, Pomerose, for the super chat. And I'm not going to tell you what I'm hearing in my head right now, but again, thank you, VS Speaks Royally. I'm having a bad case of it today. Verda Sanchez says, "If I have missed anyone, thank you all for the happy birthday wishes. I truly appreciate you and feel loved and a big part of the family." Well, of course you are. Of course you are. And thank you so much for being here on your birthday, Verda Sanchez. I appreciate it, and so does everybody else in the Sussex squad. Let me see. Okay. Okay, very good. Thank you all so much. Did I miss something? Okay, I guess not. All right, just making sure. Let me get on with it. But yeah, so that was, I always call him Brother James O'Brien. And here you have Meghan Markle makes Twitter proud by turning down King Charles' coronation invite. Meghan Markle turned down her invitation to King Charles' coronation next month, and Twitter is absolutely here for her. I keep wanting to say absolutely here for it, as we are so fond of saying sometimes. But truthfully, we are here for her. Since leaving their lives as working royals behind in 2020, the Duchess of Sussex and her husband, Prince Harry, have been very open about their previous unhappiness behind palace walls. She and Harry have repeatedly alleged that the royal family did not protect them from negative publicity, which encouraged them both to officially step down from their royal duties. The Duchess of Sussex has also spoke about how her own mental health severely declined during this time. And you know, guys, at the time, if you all remember, the excuse me, excuse me, I'm so sorry, my allergies. The spaces that were used by the royal family, both on Twitter and Instagram, among other places, any place where you could have comments that were totally in control of the palace or the palace staff or whatever, they could have hired a couple of people just to remove those negative comments, but they did not do that. They left some of the most racist tropes safely ensconced in those comments of their Twitter and such, and people felt empowered to do it. It did not bother them that this is something that is connected to the royal household, to the sovereign. None of that bothered them. If they could say it, they would say it. And that's one thing that you have to notice about when it's about race, when it's about race, like, for instance, let's use Barack Obama for a good example. When Barack Obama and his family was threatened by some very right-wing racist people, they did not care enough about their freedom or even their safety to hide the fact that they have just threatened the president of the United States and his family, something which surely would land you in jail. They did not care. They were proud to do it. And so being an African American, I have seen this several times in my life where an African American would reach a place of prominence and suddenly you have a record number of threats. And that is one of the things that has not been spoken about enough, that I guess the boldness of it, the outspoken nature of some of the racist people that are either making threats or just plain insulting or trying to incite violence against the Duchess of Sussex and her family, they don't seem bothered to try to hide their identity, and they don't feel as though that there is any type of repercussions or price to be paid. They just go about their business. And in a lot of cases, there's a conversation with law enforcement, and that is as far as it goes. I mean, just recently, there was a Latino family that was being terrorized by their neighbor, who accused them of being illegal immigrants. How could you all afford this house? You're not supposed to be here. And then, if that wasn't enough, on their Ring camera, she's actually smashing on the door with a hammer. They complained to the police and nothing happened. And then finally, the crazy lady next door decided to go into their house and threaten them with a hammer. And only then was she actually arrested. And that was because it was backed up with audio or video. And that is what it takes sometimes. It's when they have gone way too far, do you actually have any type of response from law enforcement. But if that was, let's say, a Karen, or let's just say a blonde for code, you know, they would have moved heaven and earth to make sure that that threat was neutralized to as I choose my words carefully, but you understand what I'm saying. They would move heaven and earth for the most protected in our society. So that is how that usually goes. But yeah, a lot of people have shown their support on social media for the Duchess of Sussex, putting her well-being first, putting her mental health first, as well she should. And there's a great deal of denial from the tabloid press as to what their contribution has been. As a matter of fact, they really don't speak of it, but we all know. Okay, so again, another soundbite. Yasmin Alibi Brown. Is that what she's? Okay, whatever. Okay, you guys. I am full of the sound bites today, but they all are so topical. How could I avoid it, right? As a matter of fact, I would be remiss if I didn't bring it, right? And again, I don't even know what remiss means, but I know that I would probably be that, and even better if I really understood what that meant. I always hear people say it, so that's why I say it. I would be remiss. Remiss. What a strange word, remiss. Okay. But anyway, before I remissed it,
The lunch with Clarkson.
Of course, look at the
sorry about that.
way the hatred has been whipped up in this country. Why would she come to a coronation of a woman who invited Jeremy Clarkson after that horrible, horrible piece he wrote in The Sun saying he hated her in a cellular way and he wanted...
Before, the lunch with Clarkson and Camilla
Was after.
Oh, I thought it was before.
No.
All right.
And Piers Morgan.
Now, let me pause that right there. Did you hear? Oh, by the way, let me just do this. Did you hear Jeremy Vine say, "You mean the lunch was after? I thought it was before." Did you hear what he just said? He thought the luncheon with Jeremy Clarkson in Mayfair, where Camilla invited Jeremy Clarkson, hoghead Piers Morgan, and a few other trolls of Meghan's to dine publicly. She invited them to dine at a Mayfair restaurant, kind of like a way to say thank you before Christmas. It was like a Christmas luncheon. There were gift bags handed out. It was like the Meghan's Trolls Greatest Hits was playing right there before everyone's eyes. Now, anyway, let me. I'm going to start that over, you guys. I'm going to start it over because just in case you were multitasking, I want to make sure that you heard it clearly.
The hatred has been whipped up in this country. Why would she come to a coronation of a woman who invited Jeremy Clarkson after that horrible, horrible piece he wrote in The Sun saying he hated her in a cellular way and he wanted...
Before, the lunch with Clarkson and Camilla
Was after.
Oh, I thought it was before.
No.
All right.
And Piers Morgan has
Yeah.
been hounding her. Why should Meghan come? And actually, as for the booze, there are millions of people here who absolutely are on the side of Harry
But
and
why
Meghan.
do you loathe the royal family so much?
Because-
You do. You loathe them.
Yeah, I do. I'm a Republican.
You take great joy.
I am a Republican. It's a perfectly legitimate and respectable position.
There's nothing wrong with it, but the majority of people rather like the royals. They rather
my
like
argument,
King
you're just overriding what I've just said.
Oh,
A
well,
lot of people actually are on the side of Meghan and Harry, and they can do nothing right. If she had come, they were already saying they will attract all the attention away from Charles and his Camilla. Now she's not coming. They're attacking her for another reason.
Well,
Absolutely wrong.
Maybe
it's
this
wrong.
Is, maybe,
Of course. Look at the way the hatred has been.
Now, did you notice her say Charles and his Camilla? If I didn't know better, I would think she had been listening to Royal Sussex, because how many times have I said Charles and his emotional support Camilla? It was as though she almost slipped and said Charles and his emotionally support Camilla, but instead she caught herself and said Charles and his Camilla. Somebody's been listening to Royal Sussex. Somebody's been listening to Royal Sussex. Speaking about Charles and his emotional support, Camilla. Gotcha. Anyway, but yes, she nearly slipped and said Charles and his emotional support, Camilla. Camilla. Okay. But the good thing about it is you could take her to any hotel or on any plane and they cannot stop you. You can take her to a grocery store. You can take her to a hospital emergency room. You can take her to get groomed and spayed or neutered. You can do all those things and they can't say a word to you because that is your emotional support, Camilla. So, how much is that consort in the window? The one with the scraggly tail. How much is that consort in the window? I was going to rhyme the end of that, but it wouldn't be polite. So, all right. The one that looks like she comes straight from jail. Yeah, okay, jail. There you go. The one that looks like she comes straight from jail. But yeah, you know, the closer we get to the coronation, the less I like this person and this person. It just is hard to not think about how they got there. And I honestly, I don't hate anybody, but I just it's difficult to think about how they got there and how they have just walked all over everybody to get into that position. So it's hard not to think about it. So I wanted them to slip up and say Camilla. Then we will know for sure they have been listening. Yes. Duchess Royal, thank you so much for being here. Let me see. Jeremy Clarkson wrote loads of horrible articles about Meghan. They just didn't go viral. Camilla knows what her friends was up to for his newspaper from a long time. Yeah, exactly. I think they shared cigarettes before or something like that. So they have had some conversations in close quarters, I'm sure. Okay, so let me do this. But yeah, so there you go. This is exactly what she was speaking of just now. The royal family won't condemn the op-ed about abusing Meghan Markle. Okay, so more specifically, what she was speaking of is Camilla's very glamorous private party. Dame Judi Dench, Piers Morgan, Claudia Winkleman, and Jeremy Clarkson joined Queen Consort at star-studded Mayfair lunch as she proves Meghan isn't the only royal with pulling power. So essentially, in order to sell this story to people, in order to try to, and this is what's so tricky about language, I always pay attention to language. So by throwing Meghan's name in there, that is to create some false equivalency that in some way, Camilla is capable of having friends in high places, just like Meghan. This party is right on par with something that Meghan would do, even though I don't know that Meghan has ever made a public spectacle out of any types of gatherings that she's had. I mean, I can't think of one. I don't know that there has ever been any gathering that Meghan has had where she has had to promote it in such a way. But I mean, who are they competing with besides Meghan? I mean, it's just, I don't know. I just think in some way they want to make sure that the reader is instilled with this idea that this is something on par with Meghan. And look at what this, oh God, I'm choosing my words carefully. Like I say, the closer we get to the coronation, the more I want to freestyle, but I am going to hold my tongue. All right. So, but yeah, so that is what Jasmine was speaking of just now. Is that her name? No. What is her name? Yeah, Yasmin. That is what she was speaking of just now, was inviting Jeremy Clarkson to that gathering after his gnashing of teeth and hostility spoken against the Duchess of Sussex. And then here, I know, trigger warning, you guys, trigger warning. Has gutless Meghan swerved the coronation because she can't stand thoughts of being booed? That is what Dan Wootton said. Now, mind you, this is the same Dan Wootton that said Meghan should be banned from the coronation. And then, of course, this is the same Dan Wootton who said it would be wrong for Charles if Meghan attends. The same Dan Wootton who says Meghan has bottled it. I don't even know what that means, though. It's sad she's not letting Charles see his grandkids. Oh my God, they're weaponizing the children. They are weaponizing the children. You guys, I had to tell you, I'm one of those people. Here I go, but I am one of those people. When I see a news program, like I remember one time a piece of concrete had chipped away from Wrigley Field. And yes, it could have hurt someone. And of course, over and over and over again, in order to show you what perils were possible, they kept showing this one kid over, and I hate when they use kids like that. I hate it. And so here you have that same type of thing where now they're trying to use the children as a way to make you feel like your heartstrings are being tugged because Charles can't see his grandkids. He doesn't come from a family that is particularly nurturing. If Charles has suddenly become nurturing, of course, that is something new because that is not really a thing with that family. Let's see. Katie Rose Lou says the Independent reported that Charles is disappointed that Meghan and the kids aren't going. Bullocks. Yes, exactly, Katie Rose Lou. That is nonsense. Charles is probably quietly relieved because you know what they say. Most actors, and let's look at the royal family as actors, most actors do not like to play opposite puppies or children because puppies and children are more compelling than most actors. And so it takes all of the attention away from them. And at a time like this, when Charles is probably at his most fragile mentally, the last thing he would want to do is yield any attention to a child, whether it's a blood relative or not. That is not something that he's interested in. Anyway, thank you so much for your super chat. And thank you for being a member of Royal Sussex. And happy Thursday to you. How much is that consort in the window? Some songs just sing themselves. The one with the scraggly tail. And of course, Carolyn Flack's ex-fiance accused Dan Wootton of being and then it allegedly Dan Wootton wrote hundreds of hateful stories about Carolyn Flack in the Sun leading up to her death, which were hastily deleted when she passed away. He gleefully continued to write vile stuff about others. He has accepted a huge fee to go to hate TV, GB News. Yeah, had to be very careful there. So that is what someone said on social media. And I would say I believe certain areas of that to be completely accurate. As a matter of fact, if you guys have read Spare, then you probably know people have alleged that Harry referred to a sad little man who had something to do with Carolyn Flack's tragic passing. And of course, that sad little man, to most people's account, is likely Dan Wootton. So he has quite a track record. And it's just incredible. I promise you, I'm not just saying this in a cliche kind of way, but it's just incredible to me that someone feels such hate, such hatred day after day after day, where everything is brought up to question and everything is suspect. Long as it's the person that is capable of bringing the clicks or selling the newspapers, and then is yeah. Anyway, I don't want to spend too much time with him, but that is a rather vile and vicious little man, and I think we all know what he's capable of. Right here. So Harry and Meghan are told stay away from Coronation. Right? Do you guys remember that? Harry and Meghan are told to stay away from Coronation. And then, of course, the king was there for you. So sad you can't make it for him. So it didn't take long. And you guys, I know that in the chats, a couple of you guys said, oh, they never stopped criticizing Meghan. I never said they never stopped. I said they haven't been saying much about her lately. Well, I think that was just to lure Meghan into a false sense of security so that she might come to the coronation. But again, I didn't say that all news had been eliminated. So I wish people would please listen just a little more carefully before you guys go on the attack. The thing is, they didn't have so much to say, not like the usual, but seeing that they have finally gotten a response, now the gloves are off and it's attack, attack, attack. And that's the way it's been for the last 24 plus hours. And that should come as no surprise. And of course, they're trying to portray Meghan as being a big ingrate or ungrateful, if you will. And of course, it will affect them financially that Meghan is not going. And of course, as we learned yesterday from one of the, oh my goodness, who was that? April May. And April May was saying that if I recall, that they won't have the opportunity to see Meghan bow or curtsy or anything like that. And that is the real tragedy for the royal rodents, for the tabloid media, is that they won't have that lasting image of this woman of African American descent curtsying to the likes of Camilla, or even worse, Kate. And just a reminder, as we learned from Spare, and Harry made that very clear, you can curtsy to my grandmother, and you are to curtsy to my father as well, but not Camilla. So it would have been very awkward, especially for anyone who's read Spare. It would have been very awkward to find out that, something like that happen. And of course, now we'll never know. And most likely, we will never see that. I don't suppose we'll ever see anything like that. And all I say is thank goodness for that. Wait a minute. What is going on here? Okay, Miss Verda, bye. Verda, you leaving? Let me see here. Family, I love you all. Thank you for your beautiful birthday wishes. I have to go now to unpack some groceries for the store. Love you all. Thank you, Mr. Barron. You're quite welcome, Verda Sanchez. And thank you for spending part of your birthday with us. And thank you, as always, for watching Royal Sussex. All right. Okay. All right. So let me move on. But yeah, so there you go. What a lesson of contrast you have. I'm sorry, contradictions. You have them complaining that the Sussexes aren't speaking up or announcing anything, and then they're upset when they find out. They were hoping to get another opportunity to be hypercritical of the Duchess of Sussex and try to figure out some way to humiliate her in any way possible. Well, now they won't get the opportunity, or at least look at it like this. Whatever you got to say, you'll have to say it from 5,500 miles away. Rather harmless. It's like a toothless tiger. A paper tiger, rather. Baron, have you been fuming the vile, despicable haters with you? Have been alleging that Meghan never, Corona Reina, I see that all the time. And if you notice, there's a reason why I never talk about that. So yeah, I'm going to pass on that one at this point. But I've seen all of that stuff. I've seen it all. Meghan is 55 years old, et cetera, et cetera. And it's a reason why I bypass those. So I'm gonna take a hard pass on that one this time. Let me see here. I'm so glad Meghan is not going. The British media are so mad she is not going. They just can't stop talking about her. Isn't that the truth? Isn't that the truth? And where did I see that? It was somewhere. I just saw that somewhere where they were saying how they could not stop. Wait a minute. Was Facts and 2 Cents on? I just noticed that out the corner of my eye. Oh my goodness, they were on. My, I totally missed that. Oh well. I'm gonna have to check my notifications. Okay. Yeah, I'm gonna have to check and make sure I'm getting my notifications, because I don't believe that I am getting Facts and 2 Cents. And you guys know how much I love Petal. Petal is so awesome. Let me see. Meghan is an American. She don't have to curtsy to any of them. If it were me, I'd give them something real to hate on me about. You tell them, Marshar. For what it's worth, Meghan's relationship with the Queen was something that we will probably learn about whenever she writes a book, and it will be better explained. Because there's a lot there. And when Meghan writes her book, I'm telling you guys, if you think Spare was something, wait until Meghan's book come out, okay? Wait until that comes out. And oh man, it is going to be a fever pitch moment when that book comes out. So I'll be waiting for that. And it will be a royal inside from a non-royal. We've heard inside the royal family from Sarah Ferguson, right? And we've heard a bit from Charles and Harry, but then there's going to be Meghan's turn, and I am here for it. So thank you so much, Marshar, and thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Karina Reina, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you so much for watching Royal Sussex. And let's go here then. So there are some front pages of the paper Northern Ireland's big day in the global limelight yesterday, captured on the front pages of all the UK newspapers today, right? But you wouldn't know it. You wouldn't know it. Now, The Guardian, of course, features Biden, $6 billion investment if storm and power sharing restored. Okay. But the Daily Mail, Harry, blink and you miss it, coronation visit. The Times, well, it features the Sussexes. Metro, what is Naked Fury? I don't know what that is. Harry home alone. Okay. And then, of course, King's Relief, Harry will be there. And then the Financial Times, the Financial Times, they are very troll-like sometimes. They're always trolling the Sussexes. For a financial newspaper, which I would imagine is on par with the Wall Street Journal, they can be pretty petty sometimes. So I don't like them. And then wait a minute. What dog epidemic? I mean, what are they? Oh, never mind. That's awkward. That's awkward. Anyway, all right, let me go over here. Spare will be there. All right. And Biden's appeal. What paper is that? Okay, Lisa's featuring something very relevant to the geopolitical landscape. And then, of course, the Star, Daily Star, nothing. And the Daily Telegraph, Harry and Meghan. So just so they know, the President of the United States is here to celebrate the Good Friday Agreement, but you wouldn't know it because it's all Sussex all the time, which just goes to show, as I always say, Harry and Meghan are the most influential royals in the world. The most influential. Baron, I am petty. And if I were Meghan, I would release beautiful pictures of Archie's birthday and wouldn't give a rusty nickel of who cares about it. F that your nation. I'm just saying. But yeah, we know that Meghan's not going to do that. But it is fun to think about. It is fun to think about. And if one of the guests, which I hope it doesn't happen, but if someone at the party lets slip one of those photos, then they're going to blame Meghan for it. But it would definitely take all the oxygen away from the coronation. So we'll see. We'll see. But of course, whatever photos will be released within 24 hours. And so let's put it to like this. The coronation will have a good run with their photos until probably the next day when they release those photos of Archie, Prince Archie. So we'll see. But thank you so much for your comment, Marcy Foreman. And, wouldn't it be shady if somebody just pretend like that was a birthday photo? I'm not going to do that. Put a little hat on and no, not going to do that. But thank you so much. Let's see here. So, I'd like to hear how the palace treats her and Harry. I bet they would have the whole humiliation tour on both of them. I feel so bad for Harry and his kid should go. Yeah, again, Twyla Carson. I was about to say concert. That was a great bit of division yesterday. I was on some of the spaces yesterday, and it was all over the place. Hey, Lauren, thank you so much for being here. Just saying hi. You can go back to the live now. Well, thank you so much for being here, Lauren Brown. And thank you for being a member and watching Royal Sussex. Okay, let me see here. All right, so let me just go on. Now, contrast today's front pages with the media in Ireland. Well, in Ireland, they're actually talking about something very important, and that is, of course, peace in Ireland. Now, it took a long time for that to happen, and some of us remember the IRA and all that stuff. So, beaming saviors return home, whatever that is. And then there you have the Irish Daily Mail, welcome home, cousin Joe. Oh God, they're in Ireland too. The Mirror in Ireland, the Irish Daily Mirror, Biden Joy, yes we can, okay, and yes we tan. And then what's the other one coming here? Feels like coming home. Biden tells the gathering. So yesterday, Biden let slip. He had a gaffe, something about the black and tans. He meant the All Blacks of New Zealand, I believe. There's a team called the All Blacks, and then there's the black and tans, which had to do with Irish independence. And so some people took that to believe that Joe Biden was showing his solidarity to Ireland, which of course he is very proud of his Irish roots. And don't forget his mother pretty much told him never to show any deference to the Queen or anybody else in the royal family. So, as you know, there's always this assumption that Joe Biden has it in for Ireland. Of course, that's not the case. I mean, not Ireland, but for Britain. And of course, of course, that's not the case. Look at me with my Freudian slips. But yeah, so that caused a bit of embarrassment for some. And for others, it was like, yeah, Joe, we know how you feel. But either way, Joe Biden is having a good time and he is gaffe prone. So there's nothing surprising about that. And if you take a look here, whatever the views about Harry and Meghan, people are authentically fascinated by them. Already almost 2 million readers of story about their coronation decision published a few hours ago. They are news rocket fuel. And then, of course, over here, take a look at this deranger. Take a look at this deranger. Deranger alert. We must stop clicking and reading stories about them. Only then will the media ignore them. Girl, it's too late for that. It is too late for that. We crossed that bridge years ago. There is no evidence that people are going to ever stop talking about them. And this is why I want the Sussexes to brand themselves in the most discreet, polite, and royal way possible, but I want them to be billionaires in their lifetime. I really do. When I found out someone in California won a $2 billion lottery, I'm like, please let that be Harry and Meghan. I want them to be billionaires in their lifetime. I want them to be able to finance the finest education for their children, but more importantly, the safest home and whatever protection is needed. I want them to be safe, and I want them to have a secure home to live in. And of course, enough money to do all of the philanthropy and charity and goodwill that they can possibly do. So that is my sentiments about it. So this idea that we must stop clicking, every time I look at my phone, every time I try to look at Google, if I try to search something, the first thing that pops up is something about Harry and Meghan based on my past searches, but it's never anything positive. It's always something negative. Okay? It's always something negative. So if there's so many people making money off the Sussexes, I want them to make as much money as possible, because definitely the hate sells, right? And of course, if you look at the amount of YouTube, Instagram, TikTok, Facebook, all of those platforms where there is an abundance of hate toward the Sussexes. If that's going to happen, I want them to have far more to show for it than anybody else that is putting that vile, vicious material out there. So that is my wish for the Sussexes. And of course, in response to the deranger, we reached out to a church of African Americans to ask them their thoughts about this deranger's plan that they should stop clicking. And when reaching out to some Black folks, their response was so not exactly the response that we were expecting, but I'll take it. So considering that they were unable to speak clearly and respond, I've decided that Royal Sussex should reach out to somebody else Black. And they said, right. So I guess it's unanimous. That's not going to work. But good luck. Good luck, Deranger. Good luck. All right. So the Coronation exclusive. The king has banned television cameras from filming the moment he is anointed with holy oil before being crowned at Westminster Abbey, instead deciding to respect his relationship with God. Well, you know what, guys? As I said before, just in case, I think it's necessary to keep an exorcist standing by, because once they start throwing that holy oil on him, I'm not sure what's going to happen. So, as an abundance of caution, I feel it's probably necessary to keep a exorcist nearby, because you want to be safe, right? Just in case, suddenly he spins his head around, or, he turns into a human torch and goes running out of the Westminster Abbey. I just want to make sure that not only is the king protected, but I want to make sure that the audience is protected. So, oh, you know what? I just put some. I am really suffering here. I guess this has been a very dry period. It has not rained, but it is going to rain in a couple of days. So I just put on some lip balm. So yeah, I am really suffering here. That is weird, right? Okay. All right. So that's what I suspect, is that they will have an exorcist standing by just in case either Charles or Camilla suddenly, torch the place or something, or. And also, there is a bookshop. There's a bookshop. Here it is. Glasgow Shop boycotts book series after King Charles edition. Well, as you guys know, I just had a conversation about this idea of a Charles book. When was that? Yesterday or day before yesterday? And I told you guys I thought that was a bad idea, that they are trying to indoctrinate these young kids' minds and trying to elevate some type. Well, okay, here it is. Here's the slides I had the other day. Ministry of Propaganda. And there is the book, just like in the other slide here. So yes, that is the book. And of course, I will go through these really fast. When is the king's? Okay, yeah. When is the king's coronation? The king's coronation is fast approaching. On the 6th May 2023, Charles will be officially crowned King Charles III with a holiday, with a bank holiday celebration to boot. Why should why you should celebrate the king's coronation with your kids? Why would you do that? Why? Well, because they got a book to sell. Whether you're a royalist or not, the crowning of a new king marks a key moment in history, and as such is certainly something to celebrate with your children, a day that they will remember in years to come. This milestone is something they may talk about with their own children when they grow up. Now, there's nothing to, I guess, propaganda-ish about that, is it? Of course it is. There's a lot. There's a lot going on there. But yeah, they're trying to get people to buy those books for their children. But this one bookshop, people have decided best to boycott. Now, I saw some of the other selections, which included, what was the guy that was 100 years old, the one that was knighted? He was walking with his walker or walking frame. And anyway, was it Colonel Parker or Colonel something? Colonel Saunders? I forget. It was some kind of colonel. Anyway, and the Queen knighted him. Well, they have a book about him and a book about a few other people. But this one about King Charles obviously triggered some people, and they want nothing to do with it. So, yeah, there you go. And then here, who is the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, mother of Lord Oliver Cholmondeley? Now, some people feel as though this is somewhat a trolling of Kate Middleton. I don't know. You decide. She once held as one of the best dressed guests at the royal wedding of the Duke and Duchess of Cambridge. Now the Prince and Princess of Wales, now the couple, Norfolk neighbor, the Marchioness of Cholmondeley, I think I'm saying that right, is in the headlines once again as her son Lord Oliver Cholmondeley, is set to be one of King Charles III's pages of honor at the coronation. Here's Tatler's reveal everything you need to know about his elegant mother, 39-year-old Rose. Well, seems like it's an introduction to society. Well, not necessary, of course, because Rose is already in the aristocracy, and if I recall, I think she comes from the aristocratic set herself. So it's not like she just married into it. I think she was one of them. Is that correct? But either way, her husband has a very high position. And you may recall seeing him when the Queen opened Parliament. Thank you, Captain Tom Moore. Yes, thank you so much, Karuna Rayner. Captain Tom Moore. All right. What did I call him? Colonel Parker? That's Elvis, though, right? Right. So, introducing Prince William's Norfolk neighbor and friend, the Marquess of Cholmondeley, whose son has been honored with a key role in the coronation. So there you go. These are two stories about the Cholmondeleys. I don't know what the Tatler is doing, but let me see here. Dees Nash, thank you so much for becoming a new member of Royal Sussex, and happy Thursday to you. Thank you so much for that. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you. And I'm sorry if I messed your name up, but thank you so much for the new membership to Royal Sussex. Still a bargain at just $4.99. And then over here, take a look on the right. Then their turnip toff. Then there's her turnip toff. What is a turnip toff? Crown. Turnip toff crown, whatever that is. The Norfolk Sloanes, including Sophie Carter and Robert Snuggs. Oh, God, they sound rich and pompous, don't they? Sophie Carter and Robert Snuggs, who lived near Amber Hall, and the Cambridge's glamorous Halton Hall. Oh, what did I just do? Sorry about that. Where was I? Halton Hall neighbors Rose Hanbury and her husband, the Marquis of Cholmondeley, with whom there was an alleged falling out last year over Rose's apparent closeness to William. The whole Norfolk was agog. And oh God, this is so weird. Agog. I never heard that before. And the story spilled over into the newspapers. No party has commented, that is, publicly on the matter. So yes, that story ran for a while, and I heard that the palace called in some lawyers, and next thing you know, the paper stopped talking about it. Oh, Sonia Johnson, that's interesting. Thank you for sharing this. I remember touring the City Hall in Belfast, where there was a display of the peace agreement. Amongst the photos were some of President Clinton and those who worked for peace. Beautiful place, Belfast. Lovely. And I thought Bill Clinton was supposed to travel with Joe Biden. Maybe he'll come later, but I thought Bill Clinton was supposed to travel with Joe Biden to Belfast as part of the celebration of the Good Friday Agreement. But maybe that is still to happen, because Joe Biden is like doing a tour of Ireland right now and tracing his roots. He is like the presidential Alex Haley. Okay, not really, but you know what I mean. But he's chasing his roots. It is kind of like a rite of passage for American presidents of Irish descent to go and chase their roots or trace their roots in Ireland. Reagan has done it. Well, Kennedy has done it first, then Reagan. And I can remember Biden, not Biden, but Obama. Remember they were calling him President Barack Obama? That was like insanely popular when he went. And then, of course, Biden. So, yeah, that is kind of like a rite of passage to go to Ireland and trace one's roots. Let me see. Jane Jones says, I'm American. I will never respect the king and queen. They were both having an affair while Charles was married to Princess Diana. How can anyone respect them? It is not easy, but you know, the press has been gaslighting people, Jane. They have been gaslighting people, because every so often you will hear one of those panels and someone says, I like Camilla. I like her, though. Well, I've met her and I really like her. And I think the public is going to like her, too. And, you know, and she's really worked hard and she deserves to be where she is. And I'm just like, turn it off, will you? Turn it off. We heard you the first 20 times. But that's how they gaslight. And that's why, guys, you have to be so careful. Thank you for your comment, by the way. You have to be so careful with those panels, because it seems rather innocuous the way they sit there and discuss issues of the day. But the truth is, they are there to try to persuade your thoughts to be reasonable in whatever issue they are promoting. And so when you hear them say stuff, I like Camilla, they do that because they are trying to appeal to your subconscious. You know how sometimes I sit here and I'm minding my business, and all of a sudden I go, you're making it rain, 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 rain on me. You know what I mean? It's kind of like that. So I knew I would work that in there again somehow. You're making it rain, 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 rain on me. Yeah, so I don't mean to do that, but because I watch VS Speaks Royally, it just kind of comes bubbling up. You're making it rain, rain, rain. And then sometimes I start dancing like Carlton Banks. You're making it rain, 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 rain on me. You're making it rain, rain. So I can't control it. I can't control it. Shelly L says there's no way King Charles is going to take a chance with holy oil. He's going to use some of their baby oil that he keeps in his bedside table. I can imagine he wouldn't want to take any chances. But yeah, the governor of the church, and then they said he had some falling out with the Archbishop of Canterbury about being the what is that? The keeper of the faith? No, the something like that. Something about the faith, the savior of the faith, the something of the faith, and it's supposed to be the faith. And Charles wants it to be just faith, as though he's protecting every like it's what do you call it? Is it ecumenical? What is that when all of the religions are like praying together? Anyway, yeah, so in other words, he wants to protect everyone's, and I think that is really, really cool that he wants to be the sovereign that stands up for all religion. Now that is admirable, but the thing is, you are the head of the Church of England. And even though I like that, it sounds very presidential. It sounds very much like a prime minister. It does not sound like the head of the church and the sovereign of a nation that is based on the Judeo-Christian, tenets, and that is, it's like he's overstepping the mark. And people knew that Charles had that potential, and so far he has kept himself pretty contained with his thoughts. But if you guys know of Charles before he became King Charles III, people worried about him for a long time. And they say that's why the Queen never wanted to step down, because she was afraid of what Charles would get up to, like taking away somebody's house, or perhaps trying to steal someone's titles or something. You know what I'm saying? So he can get up to all kind of weird stuff. But thank you so much, Shelly L, for the super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Happy Thursday to you. Yeah, that's true. I mean, that amongst their social circles, Corona, it is, as they say, it is a great honor to lay down your life for the king. But when it comes to the aristocracy, it is a great honor to lay down your wife for the king. That's what they say. It is a great honor to lay down your wife for the king. And as evident by the Parker Bowles household and perhaps other households, that seems to be consistent, is that it is considered okay, as long as you're not being so obvious about it. And that is something that goes way back with the aristocracy. And it's even been alleged that one of the reasons why Kitty has been having so much trouble is that she seemed to ignore that norm of the aristocracy, as though that was not going to apply to her situation. I'm just saying that's what they said. I don't know that to be the case. I'm just basing it on the history of the aristocracy, is that it was perfectly acceptable, and that if you did not go along with your aristocratic husband's wishes, you're the one with the problem, not them, because this is what we do. We're all third, fourth, and fifth cousins, and we all share just about everything. Just about everything, whether it's a hunting party, a house party, we share and share alike. As a matter of fact, some people will travel all the way to Poland for a freshly made pulled pork sandwich, present company included. We would travel all the we will travel all the way to Poland for a delicious pulled pork sandwich. So, Judy Muxty said, thank you so much for the super chat. Is Sophie supposed to be a looker? Just asking. I had to look at that a couple of times. You said looker, right? Yeah. Sophie Wessex. Well, according to their standard of beauty within the aristocracy, she is quite a catch, especially when she put on those rather balloonist jumpsuits. Oh, when she puts on a jumpsuit, it stops traffic. I mean, there goes Sophie walking around the what is that? Oh gosh, what is the horse races? The I was going to say the Kensington race. No, it is the Royal Ascot. Yeah, she'll walk around the Royal Ascot with those jumpsuits on, and she turns sideways. She kind of had that shape like the skipper on Gilligan's Island. They love that. They look at that rather middle-aged baby boomer build of hers, and they just go crazy. So yeah, they go crazy. They see that little skipper's paunch that she has, and they just go wild about it. Yeah, that's what happens. So what could I say? It's not that she's getting older, she's getting more like Skipper. Let me see. Marilyn King. Marilyn King, thank you so much for 3 months membership to Royal Sussex. And thank you, Judy, for your super chat. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex. Okay, so yeah, it's just something about that rather slightly portly build that she has that seems to drive the aristocratic men wild. I mean, yeah, she looks like somebody's mama, but I guess that's the point. Big Mama says, let me see here. Charles told Diana he was not going to be the only heir to not have a mistress, so he is making William's mistress accessible to him. Well, alleged mistress, of course. But it seems to be something going on there. Now, of course, we don't know for sure that anything like that is happening, for the sake of the lawyers listening. So this is all alleged. But as I say, it wouldn't be the first of, and it probably won't be the last of, seeing that is supposedly an expectation of people within the aristocratic circles. Those hunting parties that they have. And of course, if you guys are not familiar with the term, when they have a house party, that means that you go and stay at someone's country estate and you will stay there for like a week. Sometimes you go there and for the house party, and like someone like Evelyn Waugh, who wrote Brideshead Revisited, a frequent guest of the aristocratic set, I might add, he might stay for a month or longer. I mean, they had money, and sometimes if you were a good freeloader, if you were interesting and articulate and able to maintain a good conversation, they would invite you to come to those parties. They love the curiosity of the artistic set. So, yeah. But yeah, anyway, thank you so much for your comment, Big Mama. Okay. Okay, let me see here. Obama met his distant cousin in Ireland. He had the same ears as Barack. Solid as Barack. Da, 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 da. And we're solid as Barack. Oh man, let me see here. Yeah, Jane Jones says, I think the British aristocracy, the British monarchy is dying, especially since the two adulterers are being crowned king and queen. How disgusting. A coronation is a religious ceremony. Yeah, Jane, there's a lot of people that have been saying that. There's a lot of people who have been saying that, so you'll get no criticism from me. But people feel the way they feel about it, and it is a religious ceremony, and that does mean something to, many people still today. And so, as that guy called into Jeremy Vine, the one who said that he wasn't excited, and he referred to them as adulterers, and that he was going to be the governor of the Church of England, and how disrespectful of Charles to be so cavalier with his position. And then, of course, Jeremy, gosh, I just said his name. But anyway, he was saying that, well, what about the weakness of the flesh? But, there was no consideration forthwith for anybody else that the tabloids wanted to be critical of. So why hold back criticism or show restraint where Charles is concerned, just because he has just been crowned, or he's about to be crowned officially king? Keep the criticism up. Keep doing what you were doing before they made the deal with the tabloid media. So thank you for your comment. All right, moving on. Marilyn King, thank you so much for the super sticker. And thank you for watching Royal Sussex and being a member of Royal Sussex. So there's a reimagined, by the way, you guys, whoever took this photo, Pulitzer Prize, please, Pulitzer Prize, the Moral Award and all the rest of those. This should be in Life magazine, Time magazine, this should be everywhere. National Geographics. I want this photo to travel the world and back, because it says so much about the way they live their lives. You got William and Kate, and of course Rose, and of course Lord, the Marquis of, anyway, Rose's husband. So you got all of that going on at one of those parties. So very, very cool picture. Love it. And then right here, Country Life. Someone reimagined the magazine. Instead of having someone as obvious as Kate, just in case things change in the future, HRH, the Princess of Wales. Princess Rose. Oh man. I'm not even saying that anybody wants that to happen, but the royal family can rewrite history they can make things out in their own image. And if that is something that someone set in their mind to do, I think the public is going to go along with it, because there's always going to be someone like on the, oh gosh, what is that show? Loose Women. You always have someone who will say, I like Rose, but I like Rose. You know what I'm saying? You will always have someone to throw that in there just to see if they can reprogram people's thoughts.
Just don't get it. I don't get any of it.
What do you mean? You don't get what?
I don't get why we're so obsessed with these humans that are exactly the same. Like, it could be us four sitting there. I just don't get it.
But are you talking about what you mean as royals, or as like Kim Kardashian? Because for me, they're becoming celebrities.
Well, to me, that's all they are.
The Queen
is their celebrities.
For me, is brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard, hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the whole country paid for me to have like 12 houses and work really hard.
They don't pay for all of the houses, but
just a few.
I love the Queen.
No,
brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No,
brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No,
brilliant.
I love the Queen.
No, duty, responsibility.
She's always worked really hard, hasn't
I would
she?
work hard if the
See the way she throws that in there? I love the Queen. Like a program. I love the Queen. That gets me every time. I love the Queen. I like Camilla. I swear I just heard someone say that. I rather like Camilla. I know, right? I like Rose. I love the Rose. I love Rose. Yeah, well, there you go. That's how you do it. And again, Kate found Walkabout with Harry and Meghan one of the hardest things she'd ever had to do. Well, stick around, Kitty, because life is about to get really interesting for you. I promise. The closer you get to the throne, the more interesting things will be. Because listen, you guys, if there is going to be a regime change or a partial regime change, they have to do it now, right? They have to do it now. They cannot wait. They cannot wait until after Charles is gone, if you understand what I'm saying. If there's going to be a regime change, you better do it sooner rather than later. And that's what some people were speculating about this introduction of Rose, who is highly aristocratic. That is what people are saying, that there's likely to be a regime change. Now, that is playing with fire, and I'm not trying to help anybody, but if I was them, I would straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Straighten up and fly right. Cool down, Papa, you're gonna blow your top. Straighten up and fly right. If I was you, I would straighten up and fly right and don't even think about anything. Just keep the straight and narrow and you will be fine. You will be up to your ears in pulled pork sandwiches. As a matter of fact, you have all the pulled pork sandwiches you can hold. So straighten up and fly right. Yep. Matter of fact, you won't even have to go to Poland. They'll bring them to you. Okay. With that being said, ever so bizarrely, oh man. So one of the squatties, who I would rather not say, said, circling back to how Charles bought Her Majesty the Queen Consort Camilla endorsement. In other words, if you guys remember, Her Majesty the Queen on Ascension Day, that was the day that her father died back in 52, and she had a coronation in 53. I think I got that right. anyway, on Ascension Day, where is it at? There you go. Accession Day, rather, 2022, the 70th anniversary of Her Majesty, her reign, Her Majesty's reign. She said that she hoped that people would accept Camilla as the Queen Consort. She said that was her wish. Well, Charles had other ideas. Just like he takes away a house, he decided that he would make his wife a consort. And really, she wasn't even supposed to be Queen Consort. He promised that she would be Princess Consort. I have the receipts. So, privately fund Andrew's security, fund stipend for Andrew's housing. So those are the things that was arranged allegedly in exchange for the Queen saying, oh, I will just insist that people call her consort when I'm gone. So they say it's like a quid pro quo. One hand washes the other hand, and both hands washes the face. I guess that's possible. Anyway, that's what was supposed to happen. So Queen Elizabeth II allegedly brokered a deal that gave Charles what he wanted and ensured Andrew's future. If you believe that, I'm not saying that that's exactly what happened, but it's been alleged. I know. I love the Queen. I love the Queen. I love the Queen. And then, of course, Harry and Meghan also wanted future-proofing pre-coronation. So the unidentified person who shared this on the social media said that Harry and Meghan also wanted future-proofing pre-coronation. So I allege that there was a lot of negotiation going on. So the children's title, check. Counselor of State, well, Harry's going to the coronation, check. Met Police security, to be determined. And of course, the Frogmore, well, so far they have taken the Frogmore from them. So 2 out of 4 seems to be a done deal. So I would say the third one, Met Police, has more priority in my book. Harry and Meghan's top priority was security. Charles seems to have been keeping them out of the UK, and he traded titles for it. Well, if you guys remember, I said, and of course all of that is alleged, I said that I believe that Charles would prefer that Harry ask permission before coming to the UK, and that perhaps in exchange for, they would want Harry to agree to that in writing, a written agreement that he would ask permission before he just shows up. So I don't think Harry would want to sacrifice that freedom to come and go. So I don't suppose that that is going to happen. But that's just my unprofessional layman's opinion, is that is probably the big sticking point that they're having right now, is whether or not Harry has the freedom to enter and exit at whim, or does he have to ask permission? So I believe that when Edward VII, the Duke of Windsor, I believe that there was an agreement made with himself and the Queen and the royal family that he would ask the Queen's permission. I don't think they have that kind of thing in writing with Harry. So it would be a powerful tool for the sovereign if they were able to get Harry to sign over that freedom. And I just don't think he's willing to do that. So, and I don't even know if that's on the table, but I'm just guessing that that's what one of the sticking points is Harry asking permission about coming and going from the UK. Again, I have no inside information, But if I was Charles, I think I would want to try to put a handle on that one, just so that I would feel more insecure. I'd feel more secure, rather, about my position than not. Edward the Eighth. Thank you, Pam Porter. Edward the Eighth. That's why I always say Duke of Windsor, because I can't remember what number it is. So, and look at there. The first time I go on the limb and try to say Edward the whatever, I got it wrong. It's Edward the Eighth, not the Seventh. I think I always hesitate because I'm thinking, no, wait a minute. That was Henry the Eighth. Okay, but thank you so much for that. All right, so right here, Joe Biden is throwing shade, I think. Maybe not, but throwing shade. Rishi Sunak has been all over him like a cheap suit. If there's anything Joe Biden could possibly ask, it would probably be, can someone please rid me of this annoying little man that seems to follow me every place I go? And that, of course, would be Rishi Sunak, who is there singing for his supper, trying to get some kind of trade agreement. I think at this point, there is not a trade agreement with the U.S. The trade agreement was done away with Brexit, so they have not ironed out a complete trade agreement. It takes years to negotiate something like that, which is one of the reasons why the Brexit is such a huge mistake, because instead of just trading through the European Union, now Britain has to go around and set up new trading deals with all of the countries that was trading with them through the EU. Duh. What a goofy thing to do. But that is part of what comes with the Brexit vote, is that they have to renegotiate trade deals or establish a new trade deal at that. Yeah, Pam Porter, Obama did say, please don't do this. Please don't do this. And so I think Obama started the process of throwing the shade, and then Joe Biden just kind of continued it. It was an unnecessary error, but what do they say? Unforced error, but it's happened. And now, unfortunately, the working class people are the ones that will end up paying the price for it, or are paying the price for it. So what a shame. Bad idea, but it's done. So there's nothing that is going to reverse that in the present. So yeah, very unfortunate. Let me see here. That was yesterday. Okay. I'm trying to see if I can find. Give me just a second, you guys. By the way, thank you, Pam Porter, for your comment. Anastasia, yeah, the bumbling U.S. Leader who sticks two fingers up at our country. They're making it seem as though Joe Biden was actually trying to listen to someone across the room, and he couldn't exactly hear them, so he's like trying to cup his ears, but they decided to refer to him as someone that is throwing up his fingers at the country. So they have this thing about trying to humiliate Joe Biden. I mean, look at Rishi Sunak. He ran to Belfast so fast he didn't even have time to put his contact lenses on so he can go and kiss up to Joe Biden. And of course, Joe Biden took it all in stride. And here you can see first thing in the morning. Could you imagine what it's like to wake up to Rishi Sunak in your face? Could you imagine that? President Biden, he probably slipped and called him President Bumbling. But yeah, so Rishi Sunak has been following him around like some kind of poodle or something. I mean, have some dignity about yourself, man. Have some sort of dignity. Oh, that's the wrong one. Let me go back over here. Oh, by the way, I don't know what's happening with this one. This was actually the slides from yesterday. Oh no, was it yesterday? Yes, it was from yesterday. And as far as I know, she intends to put her gollywogs back out in the pub if she hasn't already. And remember, I accused her of having someone mail those to her, but I don't know. So let me get back over here. I'm on the wrong slides. So anti-Biden sentiment in the British Daily Telegraph and the Daily Express newspapers today. So yes, bumbling U.S. Leader who sticks two fingers up at our country. And then over there it says Biden is no friend of Britain. So there won't be a U.S. trade deal while he is president. Well, don't be so sure. I mean, so far he's only thrown a little shade. But yeah, you guys, they have to work that out. And so Rishi Sunak is going to, I wouldn't be surprised if Rishi Sunak doesn't try to board Air Force One and then get back home the best way he can. He may he may try to go back to Washington with Joe Biden. Could you imagine if Joe Biden like opens up the overhead compartment and Rishi Sunak is in there like, Mr. President, what about that trade agreement? Wouldn't that be hilarious if they opened up the overhead compartment and Rishi Sunak was in there still trying to get a trade? Oh man. Or they take the presidential luggage away and realize suddenly that one of the bags is a little heavier and reeks of desperation. Now that would be funny. And you know, guys, I like Rishi Sunak. I was hoping the very best for him. I'm proud of him being a South Asian. Is that correct, President? I'm proud. I mean, not president, prime minister. I'm very proud for him, and it shows that Britain is indeed a very modern country. But he's on the wrong side of history. He is on the wrong side of history, and for that reason, he and what's that chick's name? Suella Braverman. Between the two of them, I am rather disappointed. So. You know what they say, not all skin folks are kin folks. Hello, Ivy here. Bye from Ivy. Bye for now. Bye. I love that. Hey, Ivy. I was talking about you earlier. Thank you so much for being here. Ivy of Sussex Global UK. Hello, Ivy here. That's just one of my favorite things in the world. Hello, Ivy here. And of course, so Biden goes to breakfast, and just when he thought he had seen the last of Rishi Sunak, here he comes again, sitting there in his face, trying to get a trade deal. And so Biden is sitting there like he is, like he's not aware of who this is with him, like it's one of the Secret Service agents. I mean, this has got to be difficult. You know what I'm saying? When someone is just like, I'm not going to use the term groveling, but when someone is so desperate to get a trade deal that should not even be a thing anyway, you know what I'm saying? It's just like some annoying kid that just follows you everywhere. Brexit was a bad idea. Obama said, you're making a mistake. And yet it happened. And so now you have a very dignified prime minister, otherwise very dignified, looking somewhat desperate. I'm sure his armpits are soaked. I bet he's been perspiring for days. And so, unfortunately, almost like a little schnauzer humping his leg. I mean, if Rishi Sunak starts humping Joe Biden's leg, I wouldn't be surprised. He's just that desperate and needy and clingy. Joe Biden wakes up, he's there. He goes to the bathroom, closes the door. There's Rishi Sunak. Overhead compartment, Rishi Sunak. Yeah. Now, this was hilarious. Take a look at the last prime minister who tried to get a trade deal with Joe Biden. Oh, for God's sake, just look at him. Biden, a man 2 decades Johnson Sr., is neat, smart, jacket-backed, purposeful, and above all, on the ball. Boris, by contrast, look like he's being taken for a walk by his social worker, or perhaps accompanied to court after quick rummage for a suit through the bin bags left in Oxfam. Left in Oxfam doorway, following a 3-day fortnight binge fortified by an intravenous pizza drip and washed down with a crate of white lightning. Yes, I know it's all a posh boy front to con the punters at home, but boy, is he going to wear thin the grown-ups on the world stage now that he's allowed out in public. Honestly, what an embarrassment. So if you guys remember, I think it was at the G8 summit, G7, whatever it was, and Boris Johnson was accompanied, I think this is the one where he was accompanied by the Queen and also accompanied by, oh gosh, they all went. Charles, Camilla, and Mumbles. I think Mumbles was there too. But yeah, they all went to Cornwall to meet up with them. And poor Joe Biden finds himself stuck with big, clumsy, sloppy, he looks so sloppy. You know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like the suit is wearing him. Either he gained weight or something just scared the mess out of his suit. But ugh. You know who he looks like? He looks just like Trump. He looks just like Trump. Trump's suits never fit either. Trump could not find a fitted suit if you took a tailor hostage. You couldn't find a fitted suit for Trump. I mean, this is just a mess. He looks like a big, fat, sloppy mess. Oh, it's humiliating. It is humiliating. And these are the same people who thought Brexit was a good idea. And so now instead of having big, sloppy, nasty looking Boris Johnson, now you got some parochial school cadet, Rishi Sunak, following him around, hiding in the overhead bin of the Air Force One, in the trunk of the Beast. Every place Biden goes to shower and closes the door, and there's Rishi Sunak. So he can't get away from him. Trying to get that trade. Sir, would you just sign? Mr. President, would you just sign? Sir, Mr. President, would you just sign? And everybody knows nobody F's with Joe Biden. Poor Joe Biden, all he wanted to do was to trace his roots, and he's stuck with Rishi Sunak. And it all started at, where is that at? It all started at the airport. He gets off the plane. I don't even know if Rishi Sunak was supposed to be there. what is Rishi Sunak doing in Belfast? Now, I don't want to sound like that person, but he doesn't look Irish to me. Is there anything about Rishi Sunak that looks Irish? So what is he doing in Belfast? How did he get there? But there he is, Rishi Sunak. Mr. President, would you just sign? Would you just sign? First thing in the morning, Mr. President, take a look. Take a look at this. Look at that. Look at this. Look at that. And look at Joe Biden just trying to be polite. Oh well. Well, good luck. You're going to need it. And then, you guys, I don't know if you saw this, but if Joe Biden is not messing with Rishi Sunak's head enough, if Joe Biden is not messing with the Tories enough, do you guys notice the name of the pub in Northern Ireland where Joe Biden went out to socialize? Notice the name of the pub. Joe Biden is having the time of his life at the Windsor, established in 1883. He is literally at the Windsor pub as though he's trolling the Tories. I mean, he's having a good time, isn't he? We're gonna have a funky good time. I mean, he's having a funky good time. We're gonna have a funky good time. I mean, he's out there doing the funky four corners, the spank, the bus stop, the hustle, all those old dances. He's going old school over there. And poor Rishi Sunak is probably somewhere waiting around the corner, or probably when Joe Biden goes to get back in the car, Rishi Sunak is probably sitting inside of the limousine waiting for him. Sir, Mr. President, would you just sign? Would you just sign? Mr. President. Yeah, somewhere in that crowd, Rishi Sunak is stalking Joe Biden. That's weird, though. You know, when you get to be 80, you don't expect that anybody's going to be a stalker. But somebody is stalking Joe Biden, and his name is Rishi Sunak, trying to get him to sign that trade agreement. Yep, Joe Biden out there doing selfies and crowd surfing. I mean, literally having the time of his life. And the only thing that's keeping him from having fun is Rishi Sunak. That's just like that one little inconvenience. It's like when you sit on the plane with somebody and they start talking and won't shut up. That's Rishi Sunak. Look at there. Come on, Joe. Now, and what's interesting here, matter of fact, I won't tell you what's interesting. You'll sort it out. But again, he's in Ireland, you guys. He's in Ireland right now, doing selfies, crowd surfing, flying drones and playing air tag and stuff. He's doing all that stuff. And the only thing that's really messing up his vacation is Rishi Sunak. Now, Dr. Shola, gosh, you guys, I did not know that I was going to go over 2 hours today, but here we are. Dr. Shola, I have a little sound bite for you guys. Dr. Shola went into the lion's den as per usual. She is fearless. Wakanda forever. Dr. Shola is absolutely fearless. I will share with you right now exactly how fearless Dr. Shola is. Okay. Okay. All right, here we go. A little soundbite for you guys.
I think Meghan's decision to say no to the most powerful family in Britain and say no to the most talked about party in town is both admirable and inspiring. What Meghan is basically doing, she's exercised the power of no that comes from a place of self-worth, growth, maturity, and self-preservation.
But do you think she might have sensed she wasn't welcome? So really, it's more that she's been pushed out rather than
I don't think that's the case. I don't think that's the case because there are many factors here. I think that any wife out there who have bad in-laws like Meghan has with the royal family can deduce that Meghan has just drawn the line in the sand, and she's basically saying, I will attend royal events, but on my own terms. And what is more powerful is that Meghan is saying to the entire world, you know what? I am rejecting any notion that because I'm married into the royal family, I should be subject as bait for toxicity, rage, and abuse. She's saying to society as a whole, you don't get to tell me who I should be as a woman, as a mother, and as a wife. I think Meghan's decision to say no to the most powerful family in Britain and say...
Okay, so that is what Dr. Shola had to say about the matter. Thank you, Dr. Shola. Look at how beautiful her skin is. Absolutely gorgeous. That's one of the first things I always notice about people is beautiful skin. And I think that's because when I was a teenager, I had acne. And so when I see beautiful skin, it's just always something to behold. So you'd think that after the disastrous mini-budget, Liz Truss would show some humility. Instead, she's given a speech to the U.S. Heritage Foundation, insisting she was right all along and the victim of a political conspiracy. Really? Liz Truss brutally mocked after blaming downfall on left-wing economic establishment. Of course, going to the Heritage Foundation, if that name sounds remotely familiar to you guys, this is why. Remember Camilla Tominey? I played that little soundbite and showed you that she was part of the Heritage Foundation panel. Well, that is the group of people that have challenged Prince Harry's green card status. That's the Heritage Foundation. So is it no surprise that, like many a conservative politician, Liz Truss would go and speak at that same Heritage Foundation that tried to make trouble for Prince Harry? And so that is something that she has in common with one of the longest faces this side of Easter Island. Sunday Telegraph, Truss was brought down by left-wing economic establishment. And of course, someone replaced the image of Liz Truss in that newspaper. Instead of Liz Truss wearing a very smart-looking sports jacket, they put her in the type of jacket that is necessary to contain somebody who is one tree short of a hammock, someone who's a brick short of a house, someone who is one sandwich shy of a picnic, someone who's one wheel short of a... Anyway, you get my point. Liz Truss should not be allowed in public unsupervised. She needs a caretaker because there's something wrong with her head. She wants to fancy herself the victim of a conspiracy rather than someone who was in over their head. And might I add, the last prime minister to see Her Majesty the Queen before we got the news. So there you go. Everything she touches seems to turn into another interesting part of her life. The economy, a sovereign, you name it. So there you go. Liz Truss in her natural habitat. And then, of course, let us not forget the complicity that comes from the tabloid media. She has the boldness, vision, and strength of conviction to build on what Boris began. That's why today the Mail backs Liz Truss for leader. And then, before a head of lettuce spoiled, remember that? She didn't last as long as lettuce. Before iceberg lettuce turned into mush, Truss was a disastrous dalliance who served only to remind us what real leaders look like. Well, if this is real leadership, if this is real leadership, I would hate to see what a lack of leadership looks like, because real leaders don't hide in the overhead compartment, okay? Real leaders do not sit there and stalk you while you're trying to eat your breakfast. Joe Biden is more interested in whether the eggs are over easy or scrambled than whatever Rishi Sunak has to say. So with that, you guys, I tell you, I'm starting to think that we can't rely upon the Daily Fail, or the Daily Mail rather. I'm starting to get this feeling, I won't say it like Sarah Vine, but I'm starting to get this feeling like we can't really trust the Daily Mail. And then enters Gargamel, rhymes with Daily Mail, Gargamel. We must all be grateful that Kate prevented Meghan from coming to the coronation. Royal biographer Tom Bauer claims that the Princess of Wales wouldn't have Meghan at the coronation under any circumstances. Now, I did not believe that when I heard it. So, of course, Royal Sussex did reach out to Kate, the Princess of Wales, for comment, and she said,
obviously it'd be I would love to have met her, and she's obviously she's an inspirational woman to look up to, obviously on to this day, and going forward and things. It is, it's a wonderful family. The members who I've met have achieved a lot, and very inspirational. So yeah, I do.
Right. So, of course, I did not trust Tom Bauer, that is. So I decided to reach out to the Princess of Wales for comment, and that's what she had to say, or something thereof. So, but then again, you cannot trust someone who looks like he needs to get home and give himself an enema. Anybody who makes that face is obviously someone in dire need of an enema. A gigantic saline and diuretic filled enema. That is the only thing that will rid him of that rather pensive look he has on his face. Anyway, so that is author and troll Tom Bauer, who wrote a book that was supposed to rock Meghan's world, a book that sold about, 35 copies, never did make it to anybody's bestseller list. As a matter of fact, I don't even remember the title, but he was on television trying to tell everybody that Meghan is shaking in her boots and beside herself with fear because he just wrote a book, not realizing that people would notice immediately that it just rehashed a bunch of information that was already out there, not a single revelation or nothing, just more of the same tabloid garbage. But it has earned him a permanent position in the haters circle. Now, Mia Farrow. I knew I couldn't trust Mia Farrow when I saw that she wore or I'm sorry, I knew I couldn't trust the Kate Middleton, the Princess of Wales now. I knew I couldn't trust her when I saw her dressing like Mia Farrow in Rosemary's Baby. If you ask me, both are equally disturbed. While the Sussex squad seemed very divided, this is from Kaiser of Celibici. While the Sussex squad seemed very divided on Buckingham Palace announcement that Prince Harry would attend his father's coronation, they came together to collectively rip someone to shreds. No, not King Charles or his wife, not even Lord Peggington. The person on the receiving end of the beehive-like swarm was none other than Mia Farrow. Mia Farrow decided to tweet this about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex. Now, in case you missed it, Mia Farrow decided that she would express her feelings on Twitter as though she's super relevant. Here's my unkind thought of the day. I'm getting a little bit tired of Harry and Meghan. And then she goes on to say, of course, those who remember the heartbreaking image of Harry, a child walking behind his mom's casket, and we only wish him and both of them every happiness. You know, I used to like Mia Farrow in a very casual way, but I thought, what a courageous person to speak out against a giant of film. And of course, she's probably paid the price for it. But the problem is, now she won't shut up. Now she just keeps talking about everything. She has an opinion on everything. And yesterday, the squad dragged her and dragged her and dragged her. And so those tweets that you see on the screen, if you try to find them, you can't, because she removed them. She removed them because she got dragged really bad. She learned a very important lesson yesterday. Don't mess with the Sussexes. Keep their names out of your mouth. Harry and Meghan ain't said nothing to you. They minding their business and living their best life, and you decide that you want to remind the world that you're bored, you have Twitter, and you know everything. So here's just a few. Exactly. What has Meghan done to trigger her ire? The day's news is that Harry goes, Meghan and her children stay. That is enough to frustrate Mia Farrow, trigger her public put down and disdain, just like with Angel Reese, who did nothing to Keith Olbermann. They're racist. Now, I like Keith Olbermann, and I don't like to think of him as being racist. However, Keith Olbermann, who has been a true liberal lion, decided to go after Reese, what's her name, the basketball player, for being too proud of herself. I'll just put it like that. And so people called him out and dragged him. And the same with Mia Farrow. She's supposed to be this very liberal, some people have referred to her as the white savior, but whatever you want to refer to her type of personality or existence, the problem is Meghan ain't done nothing to you. If there is and this is what I had to share with a friend of mine one time. He told me that Meghan was overexposed. I said, okay, but why are you blaming her for that? I said, the thing is, the press creates the fatigue. The fatigue comes from the constant tweets, clickbait, news articles, even from the local news, but mostly it's the morning shows in the US, the gossip shows in the US, the entertainment shows, if you will, and of course, anything associated with Rupert Murdoch, anything that is right wing or alt right or whatever. All of those sources tend to hype up stories about people in a way that it causes fatigue. I get that. But it's usually not that person's fault. If there wasn't for the media and their need to, I guess, go for the clickbait, then Meghan and Harry would just do their philanthropy. They reach out to people that are going through struggles, disasters, whatever. That is the life that they want. Meghan is not attention seeking. She rarely makes a public appearance. And the few times that you hear from her, it is so amplified. And in between, it is all in your window and supposedly, and an insider said, someone close to, and a palace source. That is where it comes from. Even when Meghan wasn't seen for 5 months, there was several articles a day, every day. That's not her fault. So if you're feeling some type of fatigue, you have a problem because you can just switch it off. But instead, she has an opinion about something that Meghan has no control over. Why don't you say that to the people that are writing 10 articles in one day in their raggedy, nasty newspaper? Talk to that person. Just dial 1-800 Lord Nappyhead and talk to him. It's not Meghan's fault. So there you go. But she went there and people dragged her, and rightly so. You know, if you can dish it out, be prepared to take it. Not everybody sees her as this great victim of whatever situation she had with her ex-husband. Not everybody sees her as the great victim. Some people see her as an enabler. Some people have seen her as naive and gullible. But Lord knows, if she needed help, she wouldn't want anybody to call her or to say that they're fatigued of her. And so someone else said, unkind and unnecessary of you to join in on the less hate on Harry and Meghan bandwagon. Why, Mia Farrow? Why hope it makes you feel proud of yourself, nasty lady? And then someone else said, are you trying to cash in on hating Meghan? Do you even realize that she's a human being, a mother and wife? Mia Farrow is irrelevant, and relevant has been who's trying to stay relevant by hating on Meghan. You never met Meghan, and yet you hate her. You people are ridiculous. And then lastly, my favorite is the Mia Farrow dragging was glorious. So that person kind of summed it up for everyone involved yesterday with dragging Mia Farrow. So it is, oh, hey, Claire Kane. Let me see. It's interesting that she had something to say when Meghan rejected going to the UK, essentially subjecting herself to abuse. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Yeah, why not say something before that? Why pick yesterday while Meghan and Harry was trending? I guess that was the point then, wasn't it? Why choose yesterday to tell people how tired you are? If you're tired, go back to bed. You know, if you're feeling a lack of enthusiasm, buy some clothes, go get your hair done, get a boyfriend, do something, but leave the Sussexes alone. Do like Cher, go find a boy toy, but leave the Sussexes alone. Anybody who just spontaneously has an outburst like that is lacking something in their life. I don't know, a movie career, whatever. Just leave the Sussexes alone. God, they ain't bothering nobody. Okay, now, before you speak, consider if your words will improve the silence. That is what Buddha said. Before you speak, consider if your words will improve the silence. So that is my recommendation to Mia Farrow. Before you speak. Okay, before you speak. Now, to sum up things, you guys, Archie's 4th birthday is May the 6th. And at 9 p.m. on one of those places on Twitter, I'm not going to say which one because I'm not sure I'm allowed to, but if you know, you know, they're going to have a celebration for Archie. It's going to be all day. So if you know which place I'm speaking of, there you go. And they're going to be on the spaces on a platform. And so I will definitely be there on that day, as well as looking at all the news from the UK. But if you're looking for something to do that is an alternative to the coronation and all of the news about that, which is going to be trending on your devices all day, you could celebrate Archie's birthday. So here's yet another card. Yeah, they're going to have a worldwide birthday celebration. I guess that gives it away, doesn't it? All right, so I'm going to go to the next one. Thank you so much. Thank you, Sussex Squad family. Thank you all for your generous donations. Also, thank you very much for watching Royal Sussex. Thank you to the moderators for keeping this a very safe space. And thank you to my friend Jerry White, who has been very, very supportive. Jerry is listening, but anyway, she's been very good to Royal Sussex. So I wanted to send a special shout out to her. And otherwise, I think we're good. So thank you, everyone. I will be looking for a last word of the day. And also, let me see. Happy birthday again, Berta Sanchez. Yeah, I think we're good. And so always the best to our queens, Doria and Diana. And of course, we are going to make Diana trend on Coronation Day. I hope some people wear some Diana t-shirts or carry her pictures or something. I hope. But I think most people probably won't, if anybody for that matter. But that would be so bittersweet if they had big pictures of Diana above the head of the people in the crowd at the coronation. She'd burn for sure. Old hag. Let me see here. Dr. Barron, I'm laughing along. My black folks, their laughter is infectious. Very cool, Mimi, eh? Very cool. Laughing is good for the soul. Oh, really? Oh, really? I did not know that, April, May. That's interesting. Let me see. Oh, thank you, Brenda Phillips, for being here. Greatly appreciate it. Thank you, Katie V. Yes, she should be more supportive. I mean, it just makes common sense why blame the person who is the subject of the harassment of the media, the inane, nonsensical, round-the-clock reporting about nothing in particular? Why blame the individual who is the victim themselves of this over-the-top reporting? I think before you assume a person is overexposed, consider who's pushing the stories and what do they get out of it. Why would you blame the person who barely, and I guess that's the ignorance of it, is that my friend has said that about Meghan, someone I've been knowing for like 30 years. He said she's overexposed. And I don't think he meant it in a negative way, more so than all of a sudden she was everywhere and he couldn't understand why. And so, I tried to explain to him that fatigue that you're feeling, I do get it. I do get it. If it's a subject matter that you're not interested in, and every time you turn around, there it is, I get that. It's a subject matter that I'm interested in, and that's, of course, Harry and Meghan and their work. Not the negative stories. I don't want that. But I'm fatigued by all of the negative things that is said about them. But there's nothing I can do about that. If I could do something, I would. The only thing I can do is to try to counter that whenever possible. That's the only thing I can do, is to try to counter the misinformation. But otherwise, I am just as subject to it as anybody. But I could never blame the Sussexes for that. And especially you guys, I would say that Meghan probably gets more, I'm going to say she probably gets more press than most women in the world today. Okay, she probably gets more press, mostly negative and mostly inaccurate press. But it's extraordinary how much press there is about the Sussexes compared to even the president of the United States. And yet he's on camera every day. In some way, form, or fashion, there is a word or image or both of the president. And yet Meghan may not be seen for months, and there's something every day. How could you blame her for that? How could you blame her? She hasn't said anything. She hasn't done anything. And she's living her best life. And yet she's blamed for being overexposed. And I believe my friend just did not know the difference. He probably assumed that she was doing something to promote this attention. And as we all know, she hadn't done anything. But most people, I would imagine, most people don't know the difference. So you guys, if you run into somebody like that in your personal life, don't get angry or don't you get frustrated by it, because honestly, they may not know the difference. They may assume that the lies about Meghan attention seeking and such, they may assume that must be based in reality, that that's the truth. But just take the time and try to explain to them. She's barely seen from one day to the next, and that this is part of some money-making scheme from the tabloid media, that it's $1 billion industry. But I'm just afraid most people that are hostile toward the Sussexes, they don't know the difference. They think it's something deliberate. And also it's racism. It is racism. It's what they did to Michelle Obama. It's what they did to Michelle Obama's mother. You could almost hold up a mirror to the way they treated Doria and compare that to the way they treated Michelle Obama's mother. And they were very cruel to her mother, accusing her mother of soliciting money for the government for being the caretaker to her grandchildren in the absence of the president and first lady. That was a big lie, by the way. The first ladies do not receive a salary. And surely you would expect people to know that it is not logical that the first lady's mother would ask for child care credits or whatever for her grandkids. But the assumption is, well, these are some Black people who really couldn't afford anything in life. So it's just as a fluke, somehow she and her mother ended up in the White House. And of course, because they're Black, they're trying to get over on the public. They're trying to get something for nothing, like Doria moving into Frogmore like she didn't have a life in California. It is that exact same mentality. So not on my watch. That's all I can say, is not on my watch. All right, you guys, so that's it. I'm gonna go and rest my voice. I am like I think I'm having like post-nasal drip from my allergies, but I'll take something for it, like some moonshine or something. I'll find something for it. Okay. All right, you guys, I think we're good. And to close it out, I am going to go with blame the trash tabloids. Sounds good to me, Teresa McDougall. Let's blame the tabloids for every ill in this world. And that is our last word for today. Something that unites the squad, and that is blame the tabloids. Okay, we're good. All right, love you guys. I'm going to Ginger Avenger us out of here, and I will see you guys tomorrow. Thank you, everybody. What am I forgetting? I feel like I'm forgetting something. I guess not. Am I? Nah, I'm not. I think I'm good. Lemon, honey, ginger. Oh, okay. You know what I like is those Ricolas made with lemon and honey. I love those. I love Ricola. Lemon and honey. I should have one around here somewhere. Okay. Let me see. But thank you for that. Right. Well, with that, you guys, I am going to go. Exactement. Exactly. Exactement. That's French, you guys. That means exactly. Exactement. I am so continental, right? Exactement. French is easy. You just got to know when to go silent on those letters. And then you too can speak en français, right? Right. So, thank you, Charlotte.